Cloud is doing what no other crypto company in the space has not been able to do. And there's a lot of moving pieces into this puzzle. And I know there is some confusion from people and with all the changes that are coming. So I'm going to try my best to simplify all the information and let you guys know what I'm hearing from all the interviews with Ronald and all of his communication with us, and you know, how you should build your business in the space and anticipate the coming changes. So I can tell you that I'm in the project since mid-April, and it was like over 7 months now. And I've seen them deliver on a lot of promises that were being made. Both me and Daniel Butts were on this launch event back in Bangkok on May 12th. Really awesome event. It was 1,200 people. We had the privilege to meet Ronald there for the first time. And I sat down with him back then after the event for a couple hours, and an hour later, a day later for an hour. And I was impressed by his vision and his knowledge and his technical abilities and his leadership abilities to manage and lead teams of people. Which is not easy, but he has the background for it. He is self-employed since 2007, and before that he was working with big companies in top managerial roles, and he is in the space of the phones before the smartphones were any smartphones. You know, he was working with Nokia and LG and Motorola and all of these brands. And he was like sitting with the top Samsung engineers. And the more I got to know his background and his, you know, ability to work on projects for the government of Malaysia and different ventures that he was in, like as early as 18 years old, where he exited the company, sold the company that he built to a third party. His ability to build projects and then sell them later for a profit is something that he's already done in the past. So when he's talking about a vision of achieving 100 million customers in the next 3 years for the SIM card and 20 million merchants, and selling the company for $5 to $20 billion, the most optimistic scenario. I think he has the capability to do it. And we all on this journey to help him achieve that as we are part of the project. Now, initially, when Cloud started, when Chinese people came to Ronald and said to him, like, hey, you know, we see your talent, we see the blockchain that you have developed, our AI technology, it's proprietary to Ronald's team. And, you know, we recognize your talent in this space. He was receiving awards in China. So they came to him and said, we want to build a global wallet, okay? And we want to build something real, something legitimate, something that will be here for years to come. Ronald was never part of the network marketing industry. He is the first network marketing venture that he is a part of. And he was definitely not interested to be a part of any scam or any type of hint to a company that is going to do something like that since the very beginning. So when they approached to him and said to him, let's create a global wallet, he was actually, you know, looking at what is out there in the marketplace. They gave him a certain amount of money. I believe it was about $10 million to start trading with and develop the trading engine. He started to get to work for it. and he told me that, you know, as I see it, their vision is not as big as I see it. Okay, their vision is limited to, let's create a global wallet and let's do this trading part. Okay, but he said let's do something way bigger than that. Let's become WeChat and PayPal combined. Let's be the brain, like what Steve Jobs is doing with Apple. You know what his vision for that, what Bill Gates was thinking about Microsoft. Let's be the intelligence that runs the world. He is thinking in terms of how can I make a global impact on as many people's lives. That's what drives him. That's what I see. It's not the money that drives him. He's not here to just enrich his pocket, you know, and he's here to reach to many people around the world, to help the unbanked, you know, people who are underprivileged, people who don't have access to bank accounts, to help those people, to increase crypto adoption in this space, and to help people to travel more, to enjoy more their life, to get wealthy, help a lot of people along the way. That's his vision. And way beyond being a global wallet, as he was working the last, you know, 4 or 5 months, was to create an ecosystem around our coin, and to reach out to brands and merchants, and to start that adoption process, real adoption in the real world, with their point of sale system, so that merchants can accept Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies, and CTO into the local stores. So a lot of the things that were being said back then in May are now coming into fruition, like the MasterCards that are already working for some people, and it's only a matter of time as it's going to work for everybody. Here is Daniel showing his MasterCard. I got my Global Cash MasterCard with the CTO, all right? The CTO right here. And you can see CTO also here. Essentially, I already saw people going to Starbucks and using the card to pay in Starbucks, or to pay in the train station in Singapore, and to pay for it in real world scenarios. So they have this part going. Now you need to understand that in order to be compliant and legal in all the 150 countries that they are part of, there needs to be a real product and a separation between affiliates and members who are earning commissions, promoting the company, to customers who are using the service. And that is what the lawyers advise them to. And that's why big changes are happening right now with the new contracts that everybody is going to be signing soon. I believe maybe by the end of the month or the beginning of December, everybody will be signing contracts for JARVIS 2.0, which essentially makes it not as, you know, okay, go and put your Bitcoin into JARVIS and we just trade for you and give you returns. And all of these terms of returns and return on investment and profits. Okay, we are transitioning from that to everybody is part of a yearly subscription model, where people are paying for a product which is essentially data. Okay, data for the SIM card. That product is already out, and they already started selling this product. People got it at the event for 30 CTO. They got 1 gigabyte of data. But you know what is going to happen essentially is with JARVIS 2.0, people sign and they'll have 7 days to sign this new contract, is they're going to start receiving data tokens instead of CTOs, data tokens that will be used exclusively for the SIM card. Okay, like you have a subscription for the cloud SIM, and you receive data tokens to be able to pay for the data, for the internet, for the 4G, and later on with the eSIM technology for the eSIM. Now, I understand that a lot of people here, they want to make income from this opportunity, from this project, and they are not interested in the data, or they don't need the data, or they have the SIM cards. So that's not an issue at all, because data tokens are going to be converted at 0 fee for CTO. Okay, you can swap data token for the CTO and vice versa. Okay, you'll be able to also transfer it to convert it to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin to data, and CTO to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin to CTO. All of these conversions inside the Ribbon's OTC that they have been building. So the main reason they are doing this is to be legal in all the 150 countries, and to actually have this reward that is the data tokens that is exclusively for the SIM cards and nothing else. If the CTO can be used in so many different ways, the data token will be used only for the cloud SIM. Okay, and CTO itself turns into kind of the share of the cloud company, kind of like each CTO is a share of the company, and it can be used in the cloud ecosystem. Now, what is in place and what they're planning to do with this ecosystem? Number one is the cloud travel portal, which is going to increase with flights and tours and car rentals and beyond hotels and more hotel providers. I was actually able to book a 5-star hotel in Miami using CTOs, which is very, very cool. I got a booking confirmation in a couple minutes straight to my email, and it was very easy to do, easy process to do. So you can utilize the CTOs for your travel, for all of your hotel bookings, and they're covering a lot of hotels. Not every single hotel in the world, in every single country, but they're getting there. They're getting there, and they're going to expand the selection of hotels with time. They already processed in the first month over 9,000 bookings for people. It was over $500,000. Okay, just to give you an idea. So people are using this service. That's for the cloud travel. The next one is the MasterCard that we have shown. With MasterCards, you can buy anything in the stores, or you can you will get a PIN inside your email, and you'll be able to withdraw cash from the ATM. Now, when that is going to be live for everybody, everybody will be able to order either a MasterCard, Visa, or Union Pay. There will be 3 types of cards. Okay, they'll be adding the Visa and the Union Pay as well. People in China, it's more popular. Their Union Pay, for example. That provides a lot of liquidity, because those data tokens that we'll be receiving, just like CTOs right now, they can be swapped for CTOs at 0 fees, and CTOs you can load into the MasterCard or Visa, and you can spend it. I think it is the most convenient way to spend the CTOs with the card, because you can literally go and pay for the restaurant, for your for any kind of bill with this card, which makes it very convenient. Now, as far as I understand, different rankings will have different limits on the cards. C0 will have a certain limit, C1, C2, C3 will have different kind of limits to use on the card. I know C3 have 25,000 CTOs limit, something like that. All this information will be available inside the app. Right now, with the latest update, you see coming soon for the MasterCard. So we expect it to start working this month of November, or the latest in the beginning of December. They're really working on everybody who got the card to be able to start using it by the end of November, and the new members to start to be able to receive the cards. The reason the delay is the issuer of the card is actually in Hong Kong, the issuer of the credit cards, and they had massive riots and mayhem and all kinds of crazy like buses not working, and you know, all kinds of the banks not working in Hong Kong recently. So that causes some little delay with the cards, but they are really pushing on the issuer to be able to have at least everybody who got into the event in Malaysia on the 5th of October to start using the MasterCards. So we have the cloud travel, and we have the cloud prepaid card. That's another avenue to use the CTOs. Then we have all these cash vouchers that you'll be able to use the CTOs. Ronald already told that you'll be able to redeem CTOs at 10,000 different brands. Okay, 10,000 different brands. So that's another convenient way for you. Like if you live in India, you can go to Big Bazaar, a big retail store. If you live in Taiwan, you can use 7-Eleven. I know all kinds of family marts. He was mentioning all kinds of brands that you'll be able to use. They're also working on an agreement with Uber. And essentially what they're doing is they're buying in advance these vouchers for us, the members, and you can redeem your CTOs for these vouchers. So Cloud Redeem is going to be another massive way for you to redeem the CTOs. Another one that will be coming in the month of December and later is all the merchants, okay? Gradually, they'll start the merchant program where we as partners will be able to sign merchants with the KYB, Know Your Business process, which the merchants will be able to accept Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, including CTOs, inside their store, and actually receive 1% fee, okay? Instead of paying Visa or MasterCard, whatever the transaction fees that they are paying, maybe 1 or 2%, instead of paying that, they'll be receiving the fee for the service of accepting Bitcoin cryptos. So that will be beneficial for the merchant, beneficial for us, as we receive 0.5% on every single transaction, and another 0.5% goes to the company. So essentially, the merchants, as they plan to reach 20 million merchants in the next 3 years, it will be another way for people to utilize CTOs. As they understand, the new year is coming. Everybody wants cash, and they're trying to prepare, you know, as many merchants by the new year, so people can go there and take the CTOs and receive cash for them, even if it's going to cost them 4%. It's still, people will do it, and they'll get cash so they can spend into the new year. It's another avenue for the CTOs, and that's another goal. The cloud SIMs themselves, there'll be sales and service offices in each country with big leader that will be working on to actually distribute the cloud SIMs. And whenever people get the cloud SIM and register with the cloud app, the serial number, they'll need to go to the Ribbons OTC and actually top up the cloud SIM card with the data, okay? And to do it, they'll need to, you know, buy the data from the cloud SIM. So that's another way the Ribbons OTC is going to be utilized. So all of this infrastructure and ecosystem for the CTOs is what makes this project so much more than just, you know, trading and giving you profits. Okay, they still do trading, of course. They trade on their own. They also have 3 trading partners, and they have lending networks they're working with that give them stable returns, more or less, regardless of the market, because they lend that money to the lending companies. They are dealing and lending that crypto forward to traders, okay, or people who need it, and that's their own business already. So they're diversifying. They're trying to diversify as much as possible, and all of these cash vouchers and all of these you know, the actual travel, the cloud travel, they make a lot of money on this as they buy in bulk. And because they buy in bulk, they get discounts, both from the actual, you know, like Grab and Uber and different brands. In cloud travel itself, they make 30 to 40% on each deal. Okay, to give you an idea. So they're making a lot of money on whenever somebody is booking a hotel with CTO, they make a lot of money on this. That makes it way more sustainable, selling cloud SIMs and getting fees from all of these things, and buying in bulk and working in different directions and making profits than just the trading, and to just rely on trading, even as if they are diversifying in trading in different ways, still to make it more sustainable. They have different profit centers. Now, what is happening right now is actual transition into the new features with the 2.0.11. That's the new app version of cloud, which you can already register an account with the OTC. You can verify your account. You can upload the passport and ID. I know Daniel is already in the process of being verified. What will happen with the Ribbons OTC is actual rating system on the sellers and buyers. Okay, as they'll hold a reputation, the more successful deals they made with replying promptly, you know, and having a smooth transaction, the higher the limit that will allow them to operate with on the exchange, and the higher their rating is going to be, more business is going to go to them, more clients is going to go to them. Okay, that's how the OTC is going to function. And also the company will be part of that OTC, and they'll allocate 60% of the profits, up to 60%, to this OTC to help if there is more demand for selling than for buying. Okay, so they'll have like an escrow solution, and wherever the buyer and the seller, they put it in the escrow and then release it both to the buyer and to the seller. Okay, and there'll be a judge there in case of any dispute, in case of anything like that. There'll be someone in charge in the OTC who will see who is right and who is wrong. Okay, to make those kind of disputes, so that we create this trust. If I do a business with somebody and I don't know that other side who it is, they must be a third party to oversee this transaction. So we can go now, I mean, not now, as they finish that OTC part, and actually put a sell order with the CTO and get it in Bitcoin. or in other cryptocurrency. They do it in this way to ease up on their internal nodes, internal servers as they process the transaction. They have been processing the transactions up until now in this fashion inside the wallet, CTO to Ethereum, CTO to USD, all that withdrawals, you know, that part with them being over 700,000 active members. You need to remember how many of these transactions they are dealing with. So they are working it for both the legal part of it, being legal, and have the wallet clean from these type of conversions, and have it all just for the ecosystem to use as a utility coin, to use the coin, and leave it on the OTC to do that part. And you can do it inside the app itself, connect to the OTC. So very convenient there. So that will ease the conversion process, make it faster. And as we upgrade to JARVIS 2.0, and everybody will sign this new contract and have receiving the data tokens and everything, the process of if somebody wants to withdraw funds from JARVIS 2.0, that will be also faster. Now it not be as fast as we had in the beginning, because they actually learned the lesson with a lot of withdrawals. That actually affects their trading profitability. Because imagine if you have a certain amount of Bitcoin and you give it to the lending networks, it's like a short-term loan. You give that Bitcoin and you cannot just take it right away, all that Bitcoin. It has to be a certain little time passes until you get the Bitcoin and some. So for that reason, the withdrawal process from JARVIS will equal to you terminating your subscription, the contract with the Cloud SIM, right? And you'll get that Bitcoin back to your wallet inside Cloud app, but it will take a couple weeks, maybe a couple days. They are not really being, you know, very specific about the exact days because it will vary. The most important for our own sake and as partners and sustainability is not being affecting the actual trading profitability that is being done. So for that reason, everybody will get their funds. It will not be an instant. But as you can see, with them developing their merchant network in the coming months, and as they grow in different countries with the Cloud SIMs, and as they grow as a network, I see CTO being worth more money with time. Okay, and you know, we are talking about some high innovative company in this space who are doing all these things, and because of that, it's a very lucrative business. So I understand that some people are, you know, they are not 100% sure about cloud, but I can tell you that Ronald is working very hard and his team in order to make all these changes and updates happen. So just need to be more patient. We're still a startup. You know, they started 7 months ago, officially a little bit less than that, on 12th of May. We need to give them the proper time. It's, you know, because I'm seeing what they're doing and how they are implementing things. You know, they are working behind the scenes to make it the best business as we can. And I know that, you know, for me and for Daniel, I'm seeing cloud next year, we can potentially make several $1 million from this company. And what can happen in the next 2-3 years. into 2022, 2023, we can grow in a big way. So this is a little road in the roadblock as we're transitioning all of that to something bigger and better. This is the way that I'm seeing it. It's going to be better than before, and even as we are not 100% sure with all the changes and how exactly it's going to work, with more time passes and more interviews, more updates that we are receiving, it's going to be more and more clear about exactly how it's going to work. So some of the stuff they are themselves figuring out as they go. Okay, it's whenever you're doing something that you never done before, there'll be inevitably challenges along the way that will happen. They'll need to solve them as they go. The most important thing is the commitment to the process and to the success. So that's how I see it. That's what is happening right now with the new updates. Any questions, guys, about anything that I've covered? Please let me know. Wayne, maybe you want to sell something?
Yes. Okay, I have you on my phone. I'm driving, but the thing is that all right, we understand the OTC is really a fantastic stuff that is coming there. We're able to convert the CTO into different coins and that sort of thing. You have a time period when we're looking at that to be established.
When the OTC is going to be established? Is that the question?
Yes, in terms of being functional, where we could actually convert the coin into Bitcoin and vice versa.
Yeah, this is something that they are working on to get it done as soon as possible. I believe we are merely days before we can fully use the CTOs. Obviously, Ronald said on many occasions about how the OTC is going to function. So the fact that we are not seeing CTO there just yet doesn't mean it's not going to be there tomorrow or 2 days from now. That's why they have set it up inside the app. It's cloud OTC. They're not putting there for just buy and sell Bitcoin to be like an exchange for buy and sell Bitcoin. They're going to have CTOs there. They're going to have data tokens there. They're going to have all of that stuff happen on this OTC. It's going to be a crucial part of the ecosystem. So of course, I'm not on the engineering team, so I don't know exactly when that's going to happen. But I know they said they're pushing an update for the app, and here we go. We have the new app today. So whatever they're saying, even though there might be delays, they are doing okay. And I know that we can reach Ronald and we can reach Matthew, and they're responding. So Matthew is his assistant, so we can keep everybody informed about where we stand. I'm just watching how this unfolds in a beautiful way, and just the fact that
I am totally sold. I am totally sold on Cloud Token, Cloud 2.0 actually. I'm convinced of the business model because they are the first one really to, how should I say, to bring that level of transparency. And I can see what's going on here in terms of transitioning to something that is very, very solid, that can have long-term business. I watch how they do business in how they purchase property, when they make a move and stuff like that, how they try to register everything. So I know this will be here sometime, and I'm pretty excited, and I'm asking some questions on behalf of the team as well. But we're in this really long haul because we see that money just popping in every single day. That funds are just increasing. As it pertains to the SIM. Now, the SIM 2.0 is a very attractive thing for the Caribbean because in the Caribbean we pay pretty expensive for data. We pay pretty expensive for data, and that is going to create a very good, a strong attraction to high volume in the Caribbean. You have an idea how soon we'll be in the Caribbean and Latin America, and I understand they need to have some stores where they have merchants that can sell the card, so which I'm interested in. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
All I know is that they're going to have two kind of SIM cards. One is going to be inside the Asia region, and one is going to be a global SIM card. I know that Ronald mentioned that the differences in the price of data in different countries is quite significant. In Europe, it is much cheaper than it is in Asia. So it's not completely, the data can vary quite a lot for different regions. So they must come up with a way to quantify the different parts of the data, which we're buying the data from. Europe is different price than what they're buying in Asia. So the cost should also differ. That's why in Asia, the cards will be more expensive than the global SIM cards. What they need to do is establish those sales and service offices in each of the countries who actually distribute the cards to the local members, that they'll be working closely with them. I know they are having those licenses, MVNO, mobile virtual network operator licenses in each of the jurisdictions they're operating with. So that license is crucial for establishing the business in each of the countries. And it's going to be a little bit different in each of the countries. So that's why they are coming up with the model of what each data is actually being worth in terms of the gigabyte, making it somehow an average among the different data points. So that is quite a complex, and I certainly don't know exactly how that's going to work. I know that the plan is to become the biggest SIM operator in Asia. I don't know about the entire world, but at least in Asia, they want to be the number one. They want to put a lot of focus in the China area, as people in China has limitations with their internet, and people are using VPNs in order to log it into the internet. So with the cloud SIM, they'll make it anonymous process. They will not do a KYC in order to get sell the SIM card. So people in China can get the cloud SIM and they can pay in crypto, okay, and use the internet without VPN. So that's the idea, okay. Especially in China, it will be huge. China is a huge country. So imagine how many customers they can get just in China itself. So that's the plan. Vietnam is also a huge market. 70 million people, 100 million people, that's a huge market. And so that's regarding the SIM cards, what I know.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Overall, guys, do you have any other questions regarding anything?
At the same token, you'll be able to, would it be a person will be able to use their CTUs to, let's say, sign someone in the business? Is that a possibility where you can use your CTUs to register someone who actually to pay for their how should I say it, for their Jarvis, to load up their Jarvis with CTO? Is that possible?
Until recently, we had the ability to convert CTOs into Bitcoin or other coin using the Jarvis reentry function. That created some issues as people were using this in the wrong way, this feature. And what they decided to do is allowing people to store CTOs themselves. A CTO becomes a share of the company and the coin of the ecosystem, and actually store the CTOs inside Jarvis with the benefit of it helping the CTO price to go up. Why? Because less CTOs in circulation, it helps the price of CTO. However, with the new update that they posted today, you can re-enter with CTOs, but only to the equivalent of how much other crypto you have in Jarvis. So if you have $5,000 in Bitcoin, okay, you'll be able to store $5,000 worth of CTO into Jarvis, but not more. You can store less than that, but not more. So this way, they ensure that people store the other coins, not just CTOs, into the Jarvis itself. But with the OTC, technically, if you want to use that CTO to help your members get started with the Jarvis 2.0, what you can do is use the Ribbon's OTC and sell the CTO for Bitcoin, and then transfer the Bitcoin to your members, you know, and they give you cash or whatever you want to do in that regards. So yeah, that's the kind of changes they have right now, and what they're working on in order to not have only CTOs there in the wallet, in the Jarvis itself. And it makes sense, you know, it makes sense that they want to do it. Whatever the decisions they're making in that regards is to make the ecosystem sustainable. Okay, Thorsten is asking if I need someone.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thorsten is asking what if I want to get Bitcoin from Jarvis now, what is the best way to get them out? Okay, so what I suggest regarding that part is to remember what Ronald said about this in one of the interviews, is to wait until this whole situation with the CTO conversions will go completely into the OTC to ease up all of this congestions that they have. And they're moving them entirely. Once all of that CTO, people can use the OTC exchange, they're physically going to move the nodes and restructure the nodes to serve only the Jarvis portion of it. And once the transition to Jarvis 2.0 will happen, you know, that is the time that I would suggest that you do that. If you want to get out, you can do it. Or in other scenario, if you do not sign the new agreement, then essentially all these assets are going to be returned back into your wallet, but you stop participating in the project in this way, and you will stop all the rewards with that as well. So if for any reason you want to do that, then you just don't sign the agreement, and you'll get the assets into your wallet. Otherwise, you know, I don't know if they're going to have any option to remove partially the funds from Jarvis. I don't know about that part, but with Jarvis 2.0, once that happens, and the OTC is working, he said that it will take anywhere from couple weeks to couple days, the removing funds from Jarvis. Okay. How does Ribbon's OTC work with secondary accounts? Okay, so essentially, Ribbon's OTC will be working with one account for one phone. So I suggest to register using your primary cloud account in case you have several accounts, okay? To use it with the primary account, always. In case you have several accounts, you can always transfer CTOs from one account to another and then use your main account for the OTC. Yeah, Torsten, exactly. Right now, the best way is to wait for the OTC to complete its function, to clear up all of the CTOs, or want to convert the CTOs, to have it all done in the OTC part of this, and essentially have this restructure happen with Jarvis 2.0. So you know, I know they're doing it for the right reasons, to make it better for the business. So you know, they're here to stay. That's the most important part. They're here to stay and support the community and fight for the long term for this business to be worth you know, from 5 to 10 or even $20 billion when the time comes for them to sell the business. We are still not way not there. You know, we're just in the beginning stages. You know, they're talking about 2023, 2000. You know, we are still a couple of years away. A lot of work to be done. This is the most transparent project that I've ever come across, in terms of they are always updating us about what is happening, what's the next steps, you know, what they're planning to do, they're always updating us about everything that is happening. They are not hiding from problems, but they are recognizing them and solving them. Okay, and that's what we all expect from a good company, is to systematically solve the problems, and by solving them, making it better. So I'm very excited about what's to come, and cannot wait to start using the MasterCard and having all these merchants and to grow around Asia, and also he said it's not only limited in Asia. I can actually go to Israel, I believe, next year, and sign up merchants to accept Bitcoin here in Israel. And that will be another huge stream of opportunity for members to sign up merchants. And this is really awesome. So we are still rocking and rolling, guys, and updates are happening. The app is getting better. I think everything is getting better. With the way it was, and now with the growing network of SIM cards that people will be using, you know, there is a set number of engineers working just on the SIM part. Yeah. So that's pretty much all the updates that they are having right now. I know as the Ribbons OTC will be out more, we'll have more information, knowledge, experience with working with it. We'll do more training on it, tutorials on it, you know, all of that stuff to address, to make it easier for people to use. You know, and I'm sure we are very close to this date where all of these money transfers are going to be done very fast, especially the profits, the profits part with cloud. Okay. Any more questions, guys? Daniel, maybe you say a couple words.
Sure, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, guys.
Oh, go ahead.
Jeffrey, I wanted to find out. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been signing on for that after server.
Say it again. Jeffrey? I cannot hear. Daniel, maybe you can hear, I don't know.
No, can't hear you, Jeffrey.
You have a D program sign over to JARVIS.
You're sounding like a robot, man.
Maybe you can type in your question. This is better in the chat. We cannot understand what you're saying because of the internet connection. Yeah.
Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, you hear me?
Now we can. Give it a shot. Not hearing anything, Jeffrey.
Yeah, nothing coming through right now. Yeah, I think you're better off typing in.
Yeah, type it in. Type it in the chat, Jeffrey. Type in your question. But yeah, this has been.
What was your impression of the cloud event and meeting Ronald back in October, and what you're seeing right now happening with cloud?
Yeah, it's been an amazing journey, man. Since April, we've been on this journey, and we went to Bangkok before the event, prior to the event, and what really impressed me the most, and probably Vitali as well, is the transparency, like he was talking about, behind everything, right from the get-go, way back in April before the launch. And I actually fell asleep at that launch because I found out so much information I couldn't sleep. Like when I found out this was real and legit, and Ronald, I couldn't sleep until the event happened. I started falling asleep. But we had already been in meetings with him, and he was opening everything and sharing everything with us. And that's never changed this whole time. The transparency has been there the whole time, and it keeps being there. Everything that they've said they were going to do is happening. They were talking about the travel. The travel's happening. I booked a hotel about a month ago now at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Toronto. It was beautiful, and there was no issues, man. I booked it, showed up. They put me in a really nice room, and it was awesome. And I booked things since. Vitali's booking things. There's a lot of people using the travel, and there's going to be air and rental cars and everything in there. We believe in Ronald. That's who we believe in. Like, he is sincere. He works his butt off. When we first met him, he had a team of 6 engineers, 6 programmers. Now there's 57. He's got 57 programmers. I was at the office. I saw the office that everyone sees. And I also saw the other office where all the engineers are. They're separated. And it's really impressive. I was really impressed what they've put together. And, you know, companies don't go to this extent unless they're planning on being here a long time. And that's exciting considering how far we've come already. There's bumps in the road, but that doesn't concern me too much, because every company has bumps in the road. Every company has challenges. What impresses me is what they're doing when there is challenges, when there is bumps in the road. These guys are hitting it head on. Not only are they telling us everything, maybe some things they shouldn't, they tell us everything, but they're working on everything nonstop and coming through. So all we see is progress. Maybe it's not as fast as we want, but it's progress and it's happening. And it's happening pretty quick considering what they took on. Like if you understood what they're actually doing here, it's amazing what they've done so far. It's incredible. They're in totally new area. Like no one's done what they're doing. They're leading the way. So obviously they're going to come across obstacles, but they're not hiding from them. They're telling us when they are. They're saying this is happening. Oh, we ran into this. It's going to be an extra day or an extra 2 days. This happened. So they're telling us where we're going, and they're keeping us informed along the whole way. So I'm pretty excited about where we've come, and even more excited about where we're going for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you just need to see from the, if you ever watch the interviews with Ronald, you know, how sincere he is, and just think about how much money he committed already for all of these different ventures, from the travel, you know, from the redeem, all of that. It's all money that he has committed for all of these things to work. For the Grab partnership, you know, it just doesn't fall like this. He takes $10 million, you know, buys vouchers, and then you can use it, you know. So it's they're making it an ecosystem for everybody to use. So like Daniel said, and I said, you know, there'll be bumps in the road, but we need to be patient as we are trying to do something big here. I'm sure that as people will see that everything they said, that it's actually happening, there will be an explosion in the company yet again, and we'll reach 1 million active members, you know, and 500,000 active members for the subscription, you know, and it's just going to be massive, absolutely massive. So I feel blessed that I was there in such an early beginning, as I saw businesses during this time, and even other wallets, you know, they just collapsed because they didn't have this kind of infrastructure in place. It was all talks, you know, but really they didn't know how to diversify properly, and that's what Ronald said from the very beginning. Back in May, we are going to consult with large hedge funds with $2 billion, $3 billion. You know, we're going to consult with company how to do this right and how to not over risk. Okay, because if you over risk, and that's the biggest risk of the company, if you just over risk with anything and you lose, then you have a problem to pay everybody back. So the most important thing is to actually manage the risks of all of the funds and what to do with it. That's why they're going in so many different directions to diversify with everything they're doing, and that is so important. And I think as people are going to get all these MasterCards working, you know, there'll be a bunch of videos of me and Daniel and people like us, you know, going to stores and getting this card to buy stuff. You know, people are going to get excited about this, and this alone will bring a new wave of customers into the platform, which is better for everybody. So, you know, let's keep updated, guys, about everything. And we'll keep you guys posted. And I suggest, as you being in the control, in the helm of your business, to find the time to watch the updates as they come along from Ronald, and try to understand as much as possible yourself. Take ownership of your own business. Okay, do not wait for anything, and just be as involved as you can with anything. As me and Daniel do, you know, try to understand everything, ask questions, be engaged. Okay, because that is going to help you out, and help you be a better leader. And I believe that next year, like, you can absolutely make a killing here with a company and change your life, and how much you can earn from this opportunity. Okay, just from the merchants themselves, that's huge. For many, they'll be they know merchants, they have friends that are merchants. It'll be massive, life-changing opportunities next year, and we are preparing what is happening now. We are preparing the foundation for it to happen. Okay, that's what I believe is happening now. We're preparing the right soil, the right foundation for the company to prosper. So with that being said, guys, appreciate your time. I don't want to keep it too long. We'll have the recording out, and let's have a fantastic weekend, and keep the updates up. Okay, thank you so much. You're in the right place. Thank you for being part of this vision, and trusting the process. And yeah, let's see how everything unfolds, guys. Thank you so much.
Hi, guys. I want to take this opportunity to thank, of course, Daniel and Mr. Vitali for coming on the call and really sharing their very, very candidly all their thoughts in terms of where this business is going, and to give us, just a clearer view of the global scope of this amazing technology-based company. So again, thank you, guys. And we'll be doing this again. We want to invite you guys to beautiful Islands of TNT come next year as we spread this thing, further throughout the region. Okay, yep. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. And bye for now.
Bye for now.